It certainly is a big bun.
It's a very big bun.
Big, fluffy bun.
It's a very big, fluffy bun.
Where's the beef?
Some hamburger places give you a lot less beef on a lot of bun.
Where's the beef?
Welcome back to another video from Power Director Made Simple. I've mentioned it before that it is very important to keep all files used in the production of your project together in one spot. Otherwise, if you should happen to move, rename, or delete a file that you thought was no longer needed, you may find out later that it was used in a certain video project. And if you ever try to reload that previous project and it says it can't locate a certain file, then that is most likely exactly what has happened. I don't want to mention any names here, but does that sound familiar, Ken? From within Power Director, you should always save your project into a file that Power Director creates with a PDS suffix. I'm going to show exactly how that renaming of any media file can cause that PDS file to become confused. I'll start with a new project, and I'm going to import a media folder conveniently named Random Folder of Video Clips and Other Things. I'll open that folder up in the media room and I'll drag down the video clip to the timeline. I'll also import a media file from a totally different location, my Downloads folder, which is a JPEG of an astronaut on the moon. Once that file is in my media room, I'll then drag that image down to the end of track 1. I'll also drag down the music clip and place it on the audio for track 1. Now, because the music has a longer duration than the video and image on track 1, I'm going to select the music. I'll click on Edit and then Smart Fit for Duration. I'm going to select the Fit Audio to End of Project and then click OK. Now look at the timeline and notice the name of the file is now an altered WAV file instead of the original MP3 file. Also notice the original MP3 file in the media room no longer has a green check mark on it, which indicates that it is not being used on the timeline. I can actually right-click on the MP3 file and select Remove, which takes it out of the media room. Next, I'm going to select a title and place it below the video clip. Now let's pretend that this is all of the editing that I want to do for my finished video, so I can now click on Export and then create the finished video. But before I close out this project, I should save it. I'm going to click on File, Save Project, and then I'm going to enter a name, astronaut.pds. Now with the file saved, I can now close out Power Director. So now let's pretend that 6 months have gone by, and during that time, I was in Windows Explorer, and I came across this JPEG image of an astronaut in my Downloads folder. And I think to myself, I don't know what this image was used for, and besides, if it was ever used in one of my Power Director projects, I should be okay because I faithfully save all of my projects as a PDS file. I decide to rename that JPEG image to the name Moon Landing or anything else. And then I go on with my life. Another 6 months later, I decide that for some reason, I want to re-edit that video project that I made about an astronaut on the moon. I'll start up Power Director, and then I'm going to click on File, Open Project. And then I'm going to finally locate the correct PDS file, conveniently called Astronaut. And I'm going to attempt to load it into PowerDirector. Now, what do you think is going to happen here? Cyberlink says the JPEG image file was moved or is missing. I can select Browse to see if I can find it. Fortunately, I only renamed it and it was not moved or deleted. And also, fortunately, Cyberlink starts the search in the last known folder where the file resided. And there, I find the file now just called Moon Landing. I'll click on that to select it, and then Open. And this time, the project opens as expected. If I had moved the file to any other folder or drive, then I could end up spending a lot of time searching for it. And if I had deleted the file, well, then the project is facing a real problem. I'd have to find a suitable replacement or start all over. Now imagine how bad this could be if there were multiple missing files involved. Now notice that the PDS file loaded the altered WAV file on the timeline and not the original MP3. It also loaded the JPEG, which resided in a different folder. Even if you have files used on the timeline that are all from different folders, the PDS file will be able to reload your project as long as you haven't renamed, deleted, or moved any of those files. But that is a dangerous practice in loading media files from different folders. The human brain tends to forget about things, and you run the risk of forgetting what files are really needed in that one particular location. So one key feature of PowerDirector is that it allows you to pack together all the files used in the production of a project that gets saved into one folder so that you never need to worry about losing part of the project. This packing process does not compress files or move any of the original files, but rather makes a copy of everything used in the project and saves it into whatever folder you designate. So let's try this out. I'm going to click on File, Pack Project Material, and then I'm going to select a location for the project to be stored. I'm going to pick a folder where I'm going to put all of my pack projects into, conveniently called Packed Project Files. After I pick that folder location, PowerDirector wants to create a subfolder with the name of the project, in this case, Astronaut 01. I'll confirm the location and click on Yes. Now, before I click on OK to finish up, let's see what it actually did. I'm going to click on the Open File location, and the Astronaut 01 folder opens up in Windows Explorer, where I can see the JPEG image was included, along with the MP4 file, as well as the altered WAV file. And once again, the original MP3 file is not included because it was replaced by the WAV file. So, everything in my project was saved into this one folder, even though the media came from 3 different folders. Now, if I were to go back to my Downloads folder and give that JPEG image a different name, it would not affect my project at all. And if I had ever saved a PDS file previously in any other folder, those older PDS files should be deleted because only the one in the Packed Media folder contains copies of all the media in one place. That PDS file that is there is the most up-to-date. So in the future, once your project is completed, you should start thinking about using the Pack Project Materials option to avoid unintentionally renaming or deleting something that is referenced in one of your projects. Some people are smart enough to do this automatically on their own. They create their own project folder and religiously copy any and all reference media files into that project folder. Now that procedure, when done manually, is almost as good as using the Pack Project Material. But if the PDS file were ever to be deleted, even those altered WAV files are extremely difficult to replace, as well as some other special files saved if you used any mask in your project. Using the Pack Project Material option is the best way to keep everything together. I hope this has been helpful to you. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. And as always, thanks for watching.
Hey, where's the beef? I don't think there's anybody back there.